Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. No video today because I don't want to put clothes on. So we got CGC on the 4-hour time frame, and we headed into this morning saying from the video over the weekend, we can break these daily inside bars bearish, which we did to start the day. We can break these bearish, and it's not a clear bear break because the 4-hour time frame gives us more details, and we're going to look for a higher low in this equilibrium compared to 4620. So we had our high, the low of the pullback, our lower high was established, and then we formed a higher low at the low of today. So as soon as we hit 47.72, it was a very quick turnaround today. There was a ton of buying of the dip in the market, in the tech sector, in the Canadian MJ sector. There was correlation with just lower weak opens and significant buying of the dip. So the bulls showed up, saw a lot of follow through. I personally did not enter at the low of the day, but I traded CGC multiple times today. And honestly, I did play bull breaks, but I also played a lot of dumps. The 2-minute time frame gave us some gifts. But we did break resistance on the 4-hour time frame of 52.60. We got up to 52.95. ACB has earnings tomorrow. It's probably going to dictate what the sector does. We have to be watching for sector-wide correlation there. But ACB wants a more convincing break. I should say CGC wants a more convincing break of 52.60 here and for some follow-through. This bounce is significant enough at this point that if we do consolidate, we will anticipate another higher low to form compared to 47.72, unless there's an all-out bear attack with a ton of bear volume behind it. But we will just look for a 4-hour higher low if we have to consolidate. And then there's some decent space to the upside back towards 56.23. So overall, a good day for the bulls. Clear, significant buying of the dip. And here on the 2-minute time frame is some of the dumps that I was talking about. Entered this bounce right here. Got in at, I don't even remember what they were here at this point. Can't give my exact entries and exits, but these 2-minute dumps, one of them here I was getting in at, nope, don't even remember. Not even going to try and make up the numbers, but I was flipping them for about 30, 40 cents, just being conservative and just locking those moves in. And the reason I was comfortable buying these dips is because they were just coming off of bull breaks. So on the 2-minute time frame, we would have, a clear bull break, and then we would dump significantly. So here are the two bounces I played. 51.80 and exited at 52.10 or so. Just lock that in real quick. We had a double top. So these shorter term time frames give you some nice signals. So we had a double top, a higher low, and then a clear bull break with follow through. So shorter term time frames had some trade opportunities. TLRY had a great opportunity right at the open. The daily time frame, our only support nearby is $97. So you better believe that the bulls are going to attempt to defend that support level. We saw the gap down open. We opened today at 198. We dropped right down to $97. We bounced off 97.12, and it was a beautiful bottom fishing play. So the bottom fishing play is when you make an entry and you put your stop below key support of $97, and you hope that the bulls are able to defend that support level. I did not make this trade because I was live and there was a ton of action going on, and I was pretty much doing my sports announcer broadcaster thing for the market and was highlighting this play. And unfortunately, a handful of members did make an entry, bottom fishing 97 support. And just like that, we saw a 25% bounce in 1 hour. So 97 held and we ran up to 121.79. Maybe it's a 23% bounce or so. It faded. It did not get any follow through, but certainly enough for a solid trade first thing in the morning. And now we're looking back down at 97. If 97 breaks at any point, we are looking at a lack of support. After 97, the next level is 93.60. 89.21. So there's a lot of space down here. The bears absolutely still have complete control. That bounce lasted 1 hour and then just faded with no follow through. So TLRY bears are still in control. It's all about 97 in the short term. ACB had a solid move heading into its earnings. Again, a bear break of the daily inside bar first thing, but the bulls bought the dip significantly with the rest of the sector. Resistance from here, 12.36 and 12.56. And it's going to be a reaction to earnings. And then I believe it's 11 a.m. Eastern in the middle of the trading day. We're going to have that conference call and the market will react to that as well. So keep in mind, volatility is coming up. 1144 is support. If you want more details, the hourly chart, 1204 is support and then 1144 resistance. 1236 and 1256. ACB looking pretty good with bulls having some hopes for the earnings report into tomorrow. Keep in mind that if we don't have a deal, that might make some bulls disappointed and lead to some profit taking. That's something we have to keep an eye out for as well. We'll see how the market reacts to those numbers. Something I want to point out, I'll go through these other names first, but APH inside bar bull break here on the daily today. And we got some decent little follow through. The bull break was at 1989. We got up to 2043. So about a couple percent, maybe 2-3% move on that bull break. In the 4-hour time frame, needs to maintain higher lows. We are still in a tightening range right now. So if I were to draw this equilibrium here, it would be the high, the low of the pullback, lower high, higher low. And we're looking for a lower high to form compared to 2158. We're not confident that it has formed just yet. But the range right now, 1857 to 2158, and we'll see if we get that lower high. And lastly, Cron, clearly the weakest name today, and saw a gap down open, a bounce that gave it most of it back. The hourly time frame still very weak here, and we are fading. So support is 1180 and 1165, and then 1160. So 3 support levels somewhat nearby. And in terms of resistance, I'm looking at 1196, 1231, and 1255 as the first levels. We can zoom in and show the 15-minute time frame stuck between this range for the last few hours into the end of the day. Cron is clearly the weakest out of the major 4. TLRY, obviously. If I had to rank them in strength, let's just do that real quick. ACB strongest into tomorrow. We've got Cron second weakest, TLRY the weakest. Clear tight pattern on APH to be watching. CGC stronger. So that's my order right there. And one thing I'm pointing out on the daily time frame is volume. Look at the declining volume. 4 days in a row on ACB. CGC daily volume, pretty much the same as yesterday, but we'll call it in line with the pattern. Declining volume. APH declining. Cron declining very clearly. And TLRY declining. So what that means is I look for a break of that declining volume pattern, and I note the direction that that break is associated with. So we're either going to see a volume spike and a solid bull day, or a volume spike and a solid bear day. Not necessarily tomorrow. If it doesn't happen tomorrow and we still see continued volume dropping off, it is going to happen Wednesday, certainly. Wednesday is the FOMC. If you don't know what the FOMC is, Google it. It's when the U.S. makes its monetary policy and the Federal Reserve and forward-looking statements. The market usually has some solid volatility at 2 p.m. Eastern on the FOMC days. So be aware of that. We probably will see the Canadian MJ sector affected as well. And again, let's just look at the correlations. I have not looked at the correlations today, but here is the 5-minute time frame. Let's pull up and see what SPY did. And we can see that the low of the day was established first on Canadian MJ. It took about a half an hour or so for SPY to hit the low of the day. Let's make these candles a bit more clear. But I'd say there was some rough correlation with the buying of the dip. Maybe even the tech sector had some more significant correlation because the tech sector bought the dip as aggressively as the Canadian sector did. And then we'll wrap it up here. So XLK is the tech sector. There's our correlation, and that's actually way more on point. So that's interesting. Tech sector and Canadian MJ sector. Look at that 5-minute time frame. Something I'll have to keep an eye on from here. So I appreciate you all watching. Just a quick little update here. It's all about earnings for ECB tomorrow and which direction that sentiment is going to be headed. And we'll take it from there. I appreciate you watching. We'll check back in tomorrow.